Now we're joined in the studio by Jonathan Sacerdoti, our London correspondent, who's now in Israel, and we get to enjoy you here on set. What do you make of the BBC story? Is there really a true bias against Israel within the BBC?
There's been for many years people who have suggested there was that bias. The BBC point to the fact that they get complaints from both sides of this argument, as well as others, people on both sides saying they're biased the other way. That said, they did have the Balin report many years ago, which was an internal report looking into potential bias, specifically covering Israel stories. And that report was never released, and they spent a lot of money keeping the results from being released when it was challenged by members of the Jewish community who wanted to see what it actually said, which of course has led many to believe that there was a problem and continues to be.
Can you understand maybe the reporting logic behind such, headline as three, not terrorists exactly, I forgot exactly how it was.
Exactly, three Palestinians killed after deadly stabbing in Jerusalem.
Without mentioning that they are infected.
And working as a journalist in the UK, you are perhaps tuned into the logic that does this. The BBC now have changed that tweet, and they've, that headline rather, and they've deleted the tweet in order to make it look more balanced in light of the complaints. But I think what is key is that people in these institutions don't necessarily believe they're pushing a bias line. They're trying to tread a politically correct line.
Or to go to the lowest resolution of details available and confirmed?
Well, I think that what it is that when it occurs in the UK, this is a good example of when people get to call them out. When somebody stabbed a police officer outside the Palace of Westminster in the UK, many of the British broadcasters used words like murder rather than killed. Many of them used words like terrorists rather than attackers. And there seems to be this problem within some of the organisations that they don't want to use the word terrorist in case it looks like they're taking a side in an ongoing controversial conflict. But in certain cases, they will when it's on British soil.
Jonathan, you're staying with us in the studio because we have much more to discuss today, but we're taking a short break.